So Disney Plus's Mulan, or Disney, I guess, although it has been released on Disney Plus, the Mulan film is facing huge backlash, absolutely huge backlash, and I find it really incredible, actually, that the Hollywood Reporter is actually reporting on it. It's fascinating, it really, really is. Now, the Boycott Mulan movement has gained momentum across Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Thailand. Now, initially it started in Hong Kong. It's centered around the Hong Kong protests. It's also all to do with the lead star who made some comments, basically. But then also, further to that, Disney, they made a massive error doing this. Not only are they under fire specifically because they filmed in the Xinjiang province, but also because the CCP had a special thanks in Disney's Mulan remake in the credits, which is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. So let's unpack this, let's take a look, let's dive into it. Let's just take a look, shall we? Now look, the article starts out by saying that there's a wave of coordinated social media activity in several Asian countries over the weekend, which urged for filmgoers to skip the movie because of comments made by the lead. Now, that sounds like what we would normally hear when a website like the Hollywood Reporter does a video on review bombing and things like this, all the negative reviews and stuff. And you might read that and just go, whatever, nonsense. But I think some of it is quite justified. It's quite justified. So bear with me and we'll dive into it. So a wave of coordinated social media activity in Hong Kong, Taiwan and Thailand over the weekend urged for filmgoers, to skip the movie because of past comments made by its star. Which basically went on and supported Hong Kong's bouts of police brutality, actually, which recently saw a 12-year-old girl being arrested and tackled to the ground with several police officers manhandling her. A 12-year-old. Okay, because that's really justified force. I mean, one person alone can sort a 12-year-old out. What are you doing? Anyway, among the most prominent voices calling for the boycott in Hong Kong, activist leader Joshua Wong, because Disney kowtows to Beijing and because Liu Yifei openly and proudly endorses police brutality in Hong Kong. I urge anyone who believes in human rights to boycott Mulan, he wrote Friday on Twitter. He added that Liu was betraying the values that Hollywood purports to champion. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like Hollywood's all about creative freedom and the American dreams and all this kind of stuff, and then bang, let's support the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. Ridiculous, and it is ridiculous. The controversy has dogged Mulan since the heat of Hong Kong's pro-democracy protests. I tell you what, if this video gets demonetized, that says an awful lot, because we're all about democracy, right? This is what we want in the Western world. There's nothing wrong with democracy. Democracy is the best possible course of action. It's currently the best answer. And especially with Hong Kong. Hong Kong's a very interesting state of affairs, because we, as British, as the United Kingdom, we gave it to China. We handed it to them with very special rules and laws in place, which are now actually being butchered by Chinese party. Like, they are breaking the laws and the agreements under which we gave Hong Kong back. But Hong Kong people do actually, by and large, they've been seen marching down the streets with, the British flag, and so you think to yourself, these people very much firmly are not Chinese. They don't believe themselves to be Chinese people. That's not how the Hong Kong has been run. It's never been that, and that's why it's been so prosperous. It's not going to be anymore. It's not going to be anymore. You're going to see a lot of companies just going, nope, we don't want to deal with Hong Kong anymore because of what's happening. And it's tragic and it's a shame. And no, I don't understand how anyone can be in favour of any of this. Like, I've got Hong Kong subscribers and I speak to them. I have spoken to them, and it's genuinely tragic what's going on over there. So yeah, if YouTube chooses to demonetize this video, I think that says an awful lot. Now, obviously, Liu, a Chinese American, took to Chinese social media service Weibo to share an image originally released by the state, which was People's Daily, which is it's like a media thing, and it said, "I support Hong Kong's police. You can beat me up now. What a shame for Hong Kong." Like, again, remember, multiple human rights abuses, essentially a genocide of Uyghur Muslims. I think, yeah, it is Uyghurs, isn't it? Yeah, the Uyghur Muslims. Why are we supporting these people? What's going on? You know, the world is really skewed when that's considered right-wing, to say, hey, look, guys, human rights abuses, probably not good, and genocide of a race of people, again, probably not good. Apparently, that's considered right-wing. Anyway, her remarks prompted an instant backlash from the city's pro-democracy activists, who have repeatedly accused local police of brutality, unlawful arrests, and even torture. We've seen it. Like, it's there. We've seen it. This whole nonsense of coronavirus, a lot of this could have been, a lot of it could have been avoided, or at least brought under, it could have been restrained a lot quicker, brought in, into control a lot quicker, if they hadn't, I don't know, snatched up the whistleblower, and forced him to confess to apparently lying, which later he then died from coronavirus, the thing he told the world about. But don't worry, guys. The world's economies, don't worry, they've been ruined by our own governments. Definitely, the source of it definitely wasn't China. No, of course not. There is some epic mental gymnastics that people do to justify these actions. It is staggering. Anyway, Liu was circumspect when addressing the protests and her past comments in an interview with Hollywood Repoter earlier this year. I think it's obviously a very complicated situation, and I'm not an expert. I just really hope this gets resolved soon. I think it's just a very sensitive situation. That's her trying to backtrack, because obviously I think maybe Disney had a word with them. But because of the tiny scale of Hong Kong's movie box office relative to the mainland Chinese market, the city has a population of just 11 million compared to 1.3 billion in China. Activists have repeatedly called on pro-democracy supporters from afar to get behind the Boycott Mulan hashtag. And that's the thing, right? Taiwan would undoubtedly support Hong Kong because Taiwan broke away from China. They don't consider themselves part of China, although China, has forced the World Health Organization to not allow Taiwan into the World Health Organization, because they say, no, they're part of China and we can take them back by force. Again, weird that we allow that, but okay. So it's very standard that they would of course be supportive of this. Now, it's interesting because it has absolutely bombed, and I'm thankful for it, to be fair. Mulan, which cost $200 million, rumored to be $100 million more than that, actually. Baseline at the very least $300 million, FYI. Released exclusively over Disney Plus in the US over the weekend, but it is scheduled to hit the big screen in various Asian markets on Friday. Although the boycott campaign could take a bite out of its earnings in some markets, many analysts expect the film to do gangbusters business in mainland China. The film is based on a beloved Chinese legend and was shot in China and New Zealand, and it also stars alongside a relative newcomer, Liu, a slew of Chinese cinema icons including Gong Li, Jet Li, and Donnie Yen. That's all fine. I still think that this will massively affect it, and I hope it does as well, actually, because this is something which is catered only for China. It is for China. Please, give us all your money, China, basically Disney. And it just shows the hypocrisy there, and it's quite gross. Now, some analysts believe that the blockbuster earnings in China are going to be far less than certain. However, despite its Chinese provenance and cast, the film was shot in English and later dubbed into Mandarin, which could be awkward for local viewers. Grandly staged Chinese period dramas of Mulan's kind also haven't been in fashion for years in Chinese cinema. And the other thing is, like I say, we've got this, right? Disney are now under fire for filming Mulan in Chinese Xinjiang province. Now, if you don't know what that is, well. Not only did Disney shoot in the region, which is a region, it's a region which is accused of perpetrating human rights abuses against the Uyghur Muslims. This is the source of all of that controversy. You know, the genocide, basically, that's going on and has been going on for years. Unreal. They filmed there. Yeah, whatever, just give them all your money, who cares? Now, not only did Disney shoot in the region, but the studio appears to have offered its gratitude to the communists in China involved in the alleged abuses. And it's not appears, they did. Again, remember, ladies and gents, like, as much as the Hollywood Reporter is reporting on this thing, it's not that it appears, it's that it's out and out an actual fact. So it says, following Mulan's release on Disney Plus on Friday, some viewers began noticing a special thanks in the film's end credits to 8 government entities in Xinjiang, including the Public Security Bureau in the city of Turpan, where China is believed to operate over a dozen re-education camps that hold Uyghurs in extrajudicial detention. But now, don't worry, guys, you defend it. I'm apparently the bigot for calling this out. And I bet you this will be demonetised. I bet you. Mulan's credit sequence also extends a thank you to the Public Department of CPC, Xinjiang's Uyghur Autonomy Region Committee, the Chinese Communist Party agency which is responsible for producing and managing state propaganda efforts in the region. The Hollywood Reporters reached out to Disney for comment, but apparently it doesn't look like they have commented. Now, so it goes further and says, for years, China has been under international scrutiny for its treatment of Muslim minorities in Xinjiang. Isn't it funny how, like, the rest of the world's like, no, you know, whatever, Muslims, put them on a pedestal, you know, all that good stuff. And then the moment China's doing it, oh, lefties, like, just hide. No, we don't want to talk about that. Where's your outrage? You fucking idiots. You talk about the outrage, like, honestly, all the time there's outrage. Where's your outrage from, like, here? But it comes from someone who's labelled a racist and a bigot, apparently, to call this out. Like, really? Come on. Behave. Now, Mulan reportedly shot in approximately 20 locations in China, including the Mingsha Shan Desert, which stretches into Xinjiang and the Tuyak Valley to the east of Turpan. Part of Mulan's production team told Architectural Digest earlier this year that they spent months in Xinjiang researching locations before filming. There you go. There's not much else to really go into here, is there, to be fair? It's just nonsense, and I don't understand why this is allowed. You know, you got Isaac Stonefish. To make Mulan, Disney worked with 4 propaganda departments in the Chinese region of Xinjiang, the site of a genocide against Muslims. Apologies, messed up the thread the first time. Here's the story of this insanity. It's just disgusting. What's wrong with thanking Xinjiang? Well, more than a million Muslims in Xinjiang, mostly of the Uyghur minority, have been imprisoned in concentration camps. But no, that's fine, ladies and gents. Don't worry about it. Disney worked with regions where genocide is actively occurring. Actively happening. I mean, the hypocrisy. This is Disney. The chaps who are like, yeah, you know, BLM this and BLM that and this, that, and yeah, minorities this and ethnicity that and tokenism this and it's just, but no, don't worry. We'll say thanks to the people and we'll work in an area where genocide is actively happening. But no, yeah, Disney's fine. You just defend them. Whatever. There you go. I hope it burns. I hope it crashes. And I hope it, you know, burns in hell. But there you go. That is Mulan. I don't think it's going to do very well. I think the controversy surrounding it has become bigger than the movie. And I think that's a good thing. You know? So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you are new here, please do hit subscribe. Please do turn your bell notifications on to all. If you're a returning subscriber, actually, please do check the notifications are set to all, because you're not going to be notified otherwise, because YouTube sucks, basically. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Mr. H. Take care.